So I did this whole look, but in the midst of filming it, my mom called, so I was talking to her, and then I had to go to my own therapy session, and that's where I found out that my mascara is not waterproof. So I figured that I would just take everything off and redo it, which I have been known to do. I actually want to focus on a couple of things today. I was thinking about getting the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, and I haven't gotten it because I still have a couple of powder bronzers to work through, especially powder matte bronzers. But then it made me think, oh, maybe I should like pull out my Charlotte Tilbury stuff and do a look with those. So I am going to be using one of her eyeshadow quads, the only one that I have, as well as her Hollywood Flawless filter, her airbrush foundation, and then the airbrush powder. The other thing is I just got this Huda Beauty Glowish bronzer in the shade Rich, and so I want to use that. And I think that's it. I also got my little birthday gift from Sephora, so we can open that together. And yeah, I'm just gonna take all this off, dry my weeping eyes, and go ahead and show you how I got this look. Okay, we are back. So I'm going to start with some primer, and I'm using the Tatcha Silk Canvas, the liquid version, which I prefer over the original like putty version. I just didn't find that that one did anything. I had only gotten the mini size, which I was happy about, even though it wasn't super cost effective. I'm glad that I didn't spend, you know, the money for the larger size. I actually ended up giving it to a friend, and I think she liked it. But I do like the liquid version. I feel like it just gives sort of this silk canvas. So that is that. And I might not talk too much because I don't really have anything to talk about because I just told everything to my therapist. So he's really good at his job. Okay, but what I'm going to do is just kind of jump into the products I'll be using. First, I am going to be using my Makeup by Mario Eye Prep and Set, and putting that on with my Pat McGrath teeny tiny concealer brush. This has actually been lasting for quite some time. Like I'm still working on this one side, but I think it was like 20 something bucks. You get like so much. You get these two creams, and then you also get the powder if you prefer to set your eyeshadow primer or eyeshadow base, which I am going to do today just for, you know, the fun of it. So I'm taking my Anissa Beauty concealer brush and going into the powder side here, tapping into that, and then just buffing out or blending out the primer. So the only eyeshadow palette that I have from Charlotte Tilbury is the Fire Rose Luxury Palette. It's a quad, and this came out, I believe, at least within the last year. And it has these 3 shimmers and then this matte here. When I got the palette, this shade was actually broken, and so I pressed it down and it didn't feel like it was really back to what it should be, and so I used a bit of rubbing alcohol and pressed it down, packed it down, and set it, and so now it is like this. And even though it looks a little like beat up, I think that it performs fine. So I am going to take, let's see what brush I want to get started with. I think I will take this Sonia G. This is the Sky set, and this is the classic crease brush. And I'm gonna go into this matte shade here. I'm gonna see if I can use all of the shades. Since it's a quad, I should be able to figure out how to get all of the shades on my eye. I'm actually going to pick up the Sonia G. This is from the Pro Eye set, and this is the Blender Pro. I'm still going to go into that matte shade. I'm going to go into this shimmer here. It's right above the matte shade, patting into that with a Rephr number 2. I'm putting it sort of in on the lid. Actually, I think I will do it a little differently from what I did a moment ago. So I'm gonna put it all over the lid. And then I'm going to go into my like Frankenstein shade here, and I'm going to put it right in the middle. I'm gonna go back into this bronzy shade here. Now I'm just going to do this other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so gonna leave the eyes alone for a moment while I do my brows. I am using the Benefit Precisely My Brow. The only things I have gotten from Benefit are their brow products, and that has actually been pretty recent. I got a few of the minis because I wanted to kind of give them a try before committing to the larger full size. Now, Benefit's other products, I mean, essentially their shade range is like abysmal. So I don't even know if there's anything complexion-wise in their products that would actually show up on me. Like, I don't know who they trying to play with the Hula. Yeah, Hula's not gonna work for this one. But I do like their brow products so far. I actually ended up picking up a couple more of the minis because they were like buy 2 minis, get 1 free. And rather than getting a full size, I figured that I would just get the minis because they seem to be lasting pretty long. And the only difference I could tell, obviously having not used the full size, is that the mini does not have the spoolie. But I have spoolies on other like brushes and other eyebrow pencils, so that doesn't bother me too much. And brows are sort of on, and we'll come back to those as well. But now I'm going to go into the complexion. So the first thing I have is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I have it in the shade 7 Dark. And let me swatch that for you. I know that last year, I believe it was, here it is right here, don't mind that other thing. Last year, or maybe earlier this year, she came out with some minis of the Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I also want to say that she came out with more shades, but I have already had this one, and there's so much product in here that I didn't want to buy a new one. So for using it, sometimes I'll put it all over my face. Other times I'll just put it under where I will have my concealer, especially under the eyes. I saw a couple of people do that. I think one person was Stephanie Marie, and I was like, wow, how have I never thought to do that? So I think today I'm just gonna put it all over, but I am gonna start with the under eyes. So this gives a bit of luminosity, a bit of a glow if you are wanting that. And I know some people will just wear this on its own if they just want a little bit of something, something. which could work, you know. And I am taking the sponge that I used earlier today. I'm just gonna blend that out. This is a Sonia Kashuk sponge from Target. It's about $7. I have like a bunch of these that I just sort of cycle through. I usually get in these like, I'm just gonna use brushes kick, and then I'll go back to sponges and back and forth. So right now I'm in my sponge kick. Let me know if you prefer sponges or brushes to blend out your complexion products. Okay, so we've got that on. I feel like I'm looking a little like bronzy, and I'm going to go in with the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. It says it stays all day and night. I don't know, I'm not gonna be wearing it all night. And I have it in the shade 15 Warm. Now, the shade is warm, okay? It's like orange red. Let me get a drop on here so you can see. So there it is. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply it to my face. Since I already have some on my finger, I'm just gonna go ahead and use that. What if I can get any off of here? Girl, we're trying to use all of the product and not waste any. So the Flawless filter, the Hollywood Flawless filter, does give you like a little bit of coverage, but of course the foundation is going to kick that up a couple of notches. And this foundation is pretty full coverage and pretty matte. I know a lot of people don't like it because of how matte it is, but I don't mind it, especially if I put the Flawless filter underneath. It feels like it really just kind of balances everything out. Now, like I said, this foundation is pretty warm. I mean, it says 15 Warm. Hold on one second. So I do want to kind of balance it out and, you know, make things a bit more neutral. So speaking of terrible shade ranges, I'm going to go ahead and use the Hourglass Concealer in Teak. Now, we all know that Hourglass does not want to make products for folks who are deeper than a peanut. And so I'm just trying to use this up. I bought this concealer before they like solidified their ridiculousness in terms of shade range. And so, yeah, now I'm just trying to use it because I will not be supporting them. The terrible part though is that this is a pretty good concealer. But you know, they are not interested in my money that I'm trying to give them. But okay. Literally over here trying to give you my money, but you don't want it. So let me take it somewhere else. Huh? How about that? So I'm gonna put that on and take my sponge and start to blend that out. And this will help to start to balance the foundation and its redness. Now I'm going to use the Flawless, Airbrush Flawless powder, but to set everything, but I'm just going to go in with this Too Faced powder that I'm trying to finish. This is literally all I have left, and I really just want to finish this powder, or else I wouldn't be using it, since I'm using so many Charlotte Tilbury products. But man, when I tell you, like, it's the never-ending powder, I want to be done. And now let's go into that new Huda bronzer. Now this is in the shade 05 Rich, and it is called the Soft Radiance Bronzing Powder Glowish by Huda Beauty. And on the packaging, here it is, it says Glowish, a noun, the love child of Huda Beauty and Wishful. I think that's her like skincare brand, where flawless finish interacts with skin-caring ingredients for the ultimate glow. Okay, hold on. So it's buildable, seamless application, velvet finish. Now the reason I got this is because I don't have any sort of like glowy bronzers. All of the bronzers I have are matte, have a matte finish. So I wanted to give this a try. So let me see what brush would be. Oh. I think I'm going to go with the Sonia G Classic Base, and this is from her Fusion collection. But let me first swatch this. So there it is. And let's see how this looks. So it's not very deep, in my opinion. Okay, I see something. And it also doesn't seem very glowy. Like, I feel like I got the ish part, but not the glow part, you know? So I'm going to go into the Pat McGrath Labs blush in Paradise Venus. Here is the shade. And I will take the Wayne Goss number 3 from the Edit collection. Tap into that. And now I saw that Pat McGrath is coming out with another Mothership palette. I was a little late to seeing it because my internet was out for a bit. So I saw it later on than seems like a lot of other folks, and I can definitely understand the upset and people feeling like the palette sort of looks like Divine Rose and Divine 2 kind of combined with maybe like one other shade, at least from the pictures. So I definitely want to see more photos to see if there is any difference. Like, I think Pat McGrath has great products, especially eyeshadows, which is all I've used from her. So I'm like hoping that she didn't just come out with the same thing, but it seems like it's kind of leaning that way. So I don't know. Which sucks. Now, let's go back into the eyes, and I'm going to blend a little bit more just to make sure that everything is blended. So I've used 3 of the shades so far, and I need to just figure out where I'm going to put that 4th shade, which is another shimmer. It is this shade here. So I think I'm gonna need like a pencil brush because I'm probably going to pop this in the inner corner. So I'm taking this on a Wayne Goss number 7 from the Edit collection, going into that shade. I also think that I'm going to take a bit of it and do right under the brow bone. And the last step for the eyes is mascara. So let me grab one of those. I'm just going, not all of them. I'm going to use the Lancome Idole Lash, or Lash Idole, one of them, girl. And what I'm going to use for my lips is the Urban Decay Vice Lipstick in 1993. It's one of their Comfort Mattes, and I really like it as a nude on my skin tone. And to set everything, I am going to get my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, and this one is in the shade 3 Tan. If I can open it. There it is. I'm going to take this BK Beauty 102 brush. And pray that this gives me a flawless finish. Before we go, I'm going to open up my little birthday gift from Sephora. So I think there were 3 or 4 things you could choose from, and I chose the Laneige gift. Mainly because I have really been liking the lip sleeping masks that I got from them like earlier in the year. All right, so looks like it comes with 3 things. This one is the lip sleeping mask. Tiny little thing. There it is. So since I've been liking the other one, I hope I like this one. It's like orangey bubblegummy. And this is the water sleeping mask in this little container here. Some moisturizer. Ooh. It looks moisturizing. That just smells like face product. And then this is the Water Bank Moisture Cream. Here is that. Ooh, there it is. Oh, I got it on my nose. This has a slight scent to it, but it just kind of smells like skincare. So I'm excited to use those. These will be great if you're like traveling because they're, you know, mini. So you don't have to take your bigger, bulkier things. All right. So let me give you my thoughts on everything that I used on my face. I do really like the Hollywood Flawless filter. I haven't used the one by Auric, just because this has so much in it that who knows when I'll finish it. I do like it, especially if I want to get like kind of like a subtle glow under some of my more matte foundations. So I like that. The Airbrush Flawless Foundation, I like it well enough. It's not one of my favorites, and this shade is very warm on me, and so I do have to manipulate it a little bit to not look like an orange peel. But I like it. It's not too matte for me, and maybe that's because I typically pair it with the Flawless filter, and so they balance each other out. But this is fine. Nothing yet has knocked my NARS Soft Matte out of first place. Like, it's not going nowhere. Now, the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder, I really like this, and I have it in 2 shades. This is the shade 3, and I have the shade 4 as well. I hit pan on both of them. Initially, when I would use the powder, either one actually, I felt like it would darken my foundation. It doesn't do so anymore. I think mainly you just have to use a little bit. You don't need to like pack it on, and it really does kind of blur everything and give you sort of this soft matte finish. So I like those. Trying to think of which one I will repurchase when I run out of them. I'm not quite sure. Now, the eyeshadow palette, which is the Fire Rose palette. It's nice. It's pretty. It's okay. The matte isn't, one matte shade isn't as like creamy or buttery as some of my other mattes and other palettes. The shimmers are pretty. Honestly, this is the one that I got because I was pretty certain that the shades would show up on me. Some of the brand's other eyeshadow palettes don't look like they're going to be that great for a deeper skin tone. Yeah, so let me know if you've tried any of those, but this is okay. Like, I've had it for a while. I know this one, the Fire Rose, is limited edition. It's pretty. I can get this look with lots of other palettes that I have. Honestly, so this is okay. You don't need it. Now, the Glowish bronzer, I also probably could have gone without this. I don't know that it's doing anything for me. I mean, it's cute. I don't know that I'm glowing any more than I like normally do. And maybe once I take a picture, I will notice it more, but yeah, this is fine. I have her Huda Beauty's Tan Tour that I actually haven't yet used because I have like 2 other cream bronzer contours that I'm trying to use. And at some point I will pop it open and use it. And I've heard like really, really, really good things about it. But I don't know, like, this is okay. It's definitely not going to replace anything in my collection. Like, I have a mind to return it. But in terms of bronzers, like, the ones that I still honestly like more than others are my Revolution Pro bronzers. So there are the Charlotte Tilbury products that I have, and probably the ones that I'm going to stick to from the brand. Honestly, I can see myself repurchasing the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I can also see myself repurchasing the Flawless Powder, Airbrush Flawless Powder, as well as the setting spray. I don't really need the eyeshadows nor the foundation. I think I like everything else, but let me know your experience because obviously it can be really different from mine, and I want to kind of hear what you like or don't like about the brand. That's it, y'all. Thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.